This is an emergency. Do we have a doctor on
Is
board?
there a doctor on board? This is an emergency. Is there a doctor?
Yes. He's a doctor.
Huh? Doctor?
I did want to say that I had a harrowing experience on a Delta flight last week. And no, not CrowdStrike. There was a medical emergency. And the attendant said, is there a doctor on board? And 2 people raised their hands, luckily, and saved the passenger. So thank heavens.
Most people never think twice about their medication until airport security does. One forgotten label, one undeclared vial, or one rule you didn't know changed in 2025 can turn a dream trip into a stressful interrogation. If you're flying with meds this year, how you pack, label, and carry them isn't optional anymore. It's the difference between breezing through security and getting stopped before you even board. Let's start with the golden rule of 2025. Your medication should always stay with you. It doesn't matter if you're going across the country or halfway around the world. Never pack essential medication in checked luggage. Cargo holds get too hot or too cold, bags get lost, and delays happen. If your bag ends up in another city while your insulin, blood pressure pills, or pain medication are in it, you could be dealing with a serious medical problem before you even reach your destination. Instead, pack everything in your carry-on and keep it somewhere easy to access, not buried under layers of clothes or electronics. Now, how you store your medication inside that carry-on matters too. Gone are the days when you could dump a few loose pills into a plastic container and call it a day. In 2025, TSA agents are trained to flag anything that looks disorganized or suspicious. A messy bag full of unlabeled medication is practically asking for a bag search. The smarter move is to use a dedicated travel pouch or organizer that clearly separates each medication. Include labels and, if possible, carry your prescriptions or a printed summary from your doctor inside the same pouch. It's a small step that can save you a lot of time at the checkpoint. This becomes even more important if you're traveling with controlled substances like ADHD medication, opioid painkillers, or certain anti-anxiety drugs. TSA doesn't enforce state laws, but state authorities at your destination do, and in 2025, many states have tightened their regulations. That means you could be asked for proof of prescription after you land. The easiest way to avoid trouble is to carry a simple one-page letter from your doctor that lists the medication, the dosage, and the reason for use. Most doctors are used to writing these letters, and they can prevent hours of headaches down the line. Injectables and medical devices require a little extra care too. Items like insulin pens, syringes, and EpiPens are all allowed on planes, but TSA now requires that you declare them before screening. That means removing them from your main bag and telling the officer you're carrying them. The process usually involves a quick swab or scan. Nothing invasive, but it goes much faster when you're up front. The same goes for medical devices like CPAP machines or portable oxygen concentrators. TSA treats them just like laptops. They need to be removed from their cases and screened separately. Temperature is one of the most underestimated risks when flying. Many medications, especially injectables, lose effectiveness if they overheat, and with delays now more common, that risk is higher than ever. TSA recommends gel-based cooler pouches that stay cold for hours, don't violate liquid rules, and often include built-in thermometers for quick screening. Time zones are another easy thing to overlook. Crossing several can throw off your dosing schedule, and missing or mistiming a dose can have serious consequences. Experts now suggest syncing your schedule before you fly. Travel apps can automatically adjust reminders based on your destination and work offline mid-flight. One of the best pieces of advice for 2025 is to carry a medication travel card. Pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens offer them for free, and they include all your key medical details on a single card: medication names, dosages, allergies, and your doctor's contact info. It's incredibly helpful if your phone dies, if you're stopped at security, or if you need medical care while abroad and can't communicate easily in another language. It's also a sign to TSA agents that you're organized and compliant, which makes them far less likely to delay you. Here's a scenario that happens more often than people realize. A flight gets canceled, you get stuck in a layover city for 2 days, and you run out of medication. Replacing it can be a nightmare, especially if you're outside your home country. That's why most travel medicine specialists now recommend packing 2 or 3 extra days' worth of medication. It's a simple precaution that can save you from having to visit an unfamiliar clinic or pay hundreds of dollars for an emergency refill. Now, let's talk about liquids. TSA's 311 rule, which limits liquids to 3.4 ounces, still applies, but prescription liquids are exempt. That hasn't changed, but the verification process has. Officers are now more likely to ask for a pharmacy label or a digital prescription confirmation before allowing larger quantities through. That means it's not enough to just say, "It's medicine." You need documentation to back it up. Keep those labels intact and accessible, and if you're transferring liquid medication into a travel bottle, make sure you carry proof of what it is. There's also a hidden gem most people don't know about. TSA Cares. It's a free program that connects travelers with a dedicated assistance officer. If you sign up at least 72 hours before your flight, they'll help you through security, answer questions, and make sure your medical needs are handled discreetly. It's especially useful if you're traveling with sensitive medications, large supplies, or anything that might require a private screening. Finally, let's talk about how you present your medication. It might sound silly, but appearance matters. A disorganized bag filled with unlabeled bottles is more likely to raise questions than a clean, transparent pouch with clearly labeled containers. You can even purchase TSA-approved travel pouches with tamper-proof seals and QR codes that link to your prescription information. They're not mandatory, but they speed up the process, and agents tend to wave travelers through faster when everything looks professional and legitimate. Now let's go beyond the security line, Bowie, because packing medications isn't just about getting through TSA. What happens after you land can matter just as much, especially if you're traveling internationally. One of the biggest mistakes travelers make is assuming that if a medication is legal in the United States, it's legal everywhere. That's simply not true. Many countries have far stricter rules about what you can bring in. Japan, for instance, has banned certain ADHD medications entirely. The United Arab Emirates has zero tolerance for some common anxiety pills, even with a prescription. In these places, walking off the plane with the wrong medication can lead to fines, confiscation, or worse. The best way to avoid problems is to do your research before you pack. Visit the embassy website for your destination or check the IATA medical travel database. Both provide up-to-date information about what's allowed and what's restricted. If a medication is controlled or banned, you may need to apply for a special import permit or have your prescription notarized before traveling. It sounds tedious, but spending 10 minutes online before your trip is far better than spending hours dealing with customs on arrival. Speaking of customs, how you handle your medication at border checks matters too. Even if everything you're carrying is legal, officials might still want to inspect it. This is another situation where proper documentation makes a huge difference. Keep your prescriptions, doctor's letters, and medication travel card together in an easy-to-access folder. If an officer asks questions, you'll have everything you need ready to show. Staying calm and prepared makes these interactions go much more smoothly. And the faster you're through, the faster your vacation can begin. Another key detail people forget about is how they'll store their medications once they arrive. Hotel room fridges can be inconsistent, sometimes too warm, sometimes too cold, and leaving temperature-sensitive medications in direct sunlight or in a hot rental car is a recipe for disaster. Bringing a small insulated travel bag can save you a lot of stress. Many travelers even pack a compact thermometer to double-check storage conditions. If you're staying somewhere long-term, consider asking your host or hotel staff about reliable refrigeration options ahead of time. Here's another pro tip seasoned travelers swear by: split your medication supply. It might sound paranoid, but if you're traveling with a partner or a friend, divide your doses between 2 bags. If one bag gets lost or delayed, you still have enough to get by until it's recovered. Luggage mishaps happen more often than you think, especially with connecting flights, and having a backup supply could literally save your trip. What about traveling with larger quantities of medication? Maybe you're going abroad for several months or have a long-term treatment plan. In 2025, TSA allows you to bring larger supplies, but they're more likely to inspect them. This is where presentation and documentation become even more important. Make sure everything is clearly labeled and accompanied by proof of prescription. If you're carrying large amounts of controlled substances, be prepared for extra questions. In those cases, it's a good idea to notify TSA ahead of time through their helpline. They can give you guidance on how to pack and what to expect, reducing surprises at the checkpoint. Once you've cleared security and landed at your destination, the final thing to think about is your daily routine. New environments, jet lag, and time zone changes can throw even the most disciplined traveler off schedule. One solution is to keep a small day kit of medication in your personal item, something you can easily access on the plane, in the airport, or during layovers. This ensures you never miss a dose, even if your main luggage is tucked away or you're stuck in a long customs line. And remember, emergencies happen. It's a good idea to know the location of pharmacies or hospitals near where you're staying. Some countries require a local doctor's note for refills, even if you have your original prescription. Others don't stock the same brand names, so bringing generic names of your medications can make communication easier if you need replacements. At this point, you might be thinking that flying with medication sounds like a lot of work, but the truth is, once you prepare properly, it becomes second nature. Most of the tips we've covered, organizing your medication, carrying documentation, planning for time zones, and understanding local laws, only take a few extra minutes before your trip. And those minutes can save you hours of stress later. So before your next trip, take 10 minutes and do a medication check. Make sure everything is clearly labeled. Print out or download your prescriptions. Pack an extra few days' worth of doses. Double check the rules in the country you're visiting. Store your meds where they'll be safe and accessible. And if you're unsure about anything, call TSA Cares or talk to your pharmacist. They deal with these questions every day and can offer personalized advice. It might feel like a small part of your travel checklist, but in reality, it's one of the most important. Your medication isn't just another item in your suitcase, it's what keeps you healthy, stable, and ready to enjoy the experiences ahead. And with a little bit of planning, you'll never have to worry about it again. If this guide helped you feel more prepared for your next flight, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and drop a comment sharing your best medication packing tip. It could be a lifesaver for someone else planning their first big trip. Safe travels, pack smart, and may every dose make it to your destination right alongside you.